Good morning, everyone. So we're starting on time today. Catch up with a bit of long day of lectures, amazing program, and we're all here to listen to state-of-the-art lectures, and we are all here for education, and we are all passionate about education. And education is evolving. It's not something classical nowadays. We have many tools to help with new forms of education and teaching. And I have the pleasure today to introduce our next speaker. It's Chul, who came all the way from Korea, Seoul, and his topic will be education in pain medicine, and education and pain medicine with a specific tool, which is artificial reality program that they built to teach about pain medicine. He's a doctor and medical doctor, professor in computer science. He's a programmer, interesting combination. He has contributed to many academic activities and development in pain medicine through active treatment and research achievements in different fields, including neuromodulation, and as well as anatomy and animal research. Although he received his PhD in neuroanatomy, he has also skills in artificial intelligence, which is new developments and new tools to help with education these days, and artificial intelligence and medical application of virtual and augmented reality. He's, as I said, programmer, scientist, and recently has been accumulating various research and achievement for development and application of these technologies. At this conference, as a medical scientist, will give probably the world's first self-made lecture that blends augmented and virtual reality. The world's first self-made virtual reality simulator, augmented reality guide procedure modules, and application cases of artificial intelligence in pain medicine. And this is a very interesting topic since we're doing some sort of new tools for education in our field here. So I'm glad to have him here to learn from him.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Today's presentation will be presented with something different method using the virtual reality. And this is not only for the education, it is also how we're going to use the phone. But let me start with but also for the this presentation, not only for the education but also for the simulation procedures as well. Let me start. Hello. Good morning, and thank you very much for inviting me to this 16th World Congress of Pain Clinicians today. I'm a medical doctor who treats and educates pain medicine at the university. But in recent years, I've been focusing on research subjects that maybe some of them familiar. I've been researching the application of virtual reality, of VR, and augmented reality, AR, and artificial intelligence, AI, to medical field. However, since this is my first presentation in Dubai, today I think I will be able to show you only simulation using virtual reality. If there's a chance next time, I would like to show augmented reality and artificial intelligence in a more advanced form. Today, I'm performing a presentation in English with subtitles. However, if someone can help me, next time I will be able to provide beautiful Arabic subtitles. I like the Arabic subtitles, but I can't read it right now, so I couldn't put, I couldn't provide today. Now, as you have noticed, the person who is wearing this red Korean costume is me, and the person who is wearing more comfortable green top and blue bottom is the patient here. When I first gave this type of presentation, I met people who said like, okay, I can see that you're introducing kind of technology, but I don't see how it helps to see patients and so on. So I set out to accompany this patient through entire process, and from diagnosis to treatment, and show how the technology can help. So I can show you today due to several equipment and environmental limitations. In fact, I'm now building a platform that can provide various medical services by connecting patients and doctors from anywhere in the world. For example, from Dubai to Seoul, through an internet-based network. Now let me start this presentation. First, I should ask the patient where it helps. Nice to meet you. Okay. And I'm not feeling pain somewhere. Your back hurts a lot. I see. I'll get better. Most modern doctors explain to patients like this in the way I'll show you. I'll show you maybe screen I see. Let me share my vision. Modern doctors used to explain to the patient like this, something like this part here is the part where your spine has problem, and so I'm going to insert the treatment through right here or something to treat the inflamed area and release the adhesion and something like that. By the way, if I explain it like this, most of the patients' reactions are like this. I don't know, I do as you want, or like this. However, if you proceed treatment without patient's proper understanding of his current condition, the problems may arise in the future. Therefore, I suggest explaining to patients in the way I will show you soon, in a situation like this. Sir, please follow me. Please follow me. I have prepared some magic book in this. Sir, sir, please come on. Come over here and let's see this book together. Let me show you how it looks from the patient's view now. This is my view, and patients look at this. Okay, and like I said, to the patient, like this is your torso. Enlarge this. Or too big. This is your torso, and first, I'll make the skin transparent to, you may see your vertebra like this. See? This is your vertebra. And let me also make the bones transparent here. Yeah. And this blue disc, these blue discs are the intervertebral discs between your vertebrae, and the yellow ones are the nerves. And as you see, as you can see right now, your intervertebral disc is protruding right here, like this, and irritating your nerve just like this. You see? So I'm going to explain it. I'm going to put some kind of needle like this to the spine, just like this. You see the needle over here? To treat your inflammation. The 3D model you just saw was created with the patient's icon image data file. Therefore, I'm on the verge of completing a system that can easily get 3D data from a patient like this with just a few clicks whenever the patient comes. How about it? Would that be much easier to understand? So now, I think the patient understands now. So, patient, please follow me. Now, I shall proceed with the treatment. Okay. I recently published about a simulator that allows you to create a virtual patient using real patient data and perform the procedure in advance for difficult procedures. This was probably the first case in the world to help with planning and simulating in advance using real patient data and then applying it to patient as per simulator. Please see these pictures. These two pictures look very different. Actually, the picture on the left is a virtual X-ray image. It used the CT data of a patient with severely degenerated spine. On the other hand, the picture on the right over here is the actual procedure image. How is it? Are the two pictures similar? Using this, I was able to simulate the transforaminal hydrogen block to this patient in advance and succeeded the actual procedure just as simulated. Let's take a look at these two pictures too. This person had a very severe metastasis in the pelvis and planned for a superior hypogastric glottis growth. However, because his intervertebral disc degeneration was so severe and having structure was beginning to long, difficulties were expected. For that, I did a simulation like the picture on the left here and performed the procedure like the picture on the right. After all, I was able to carry out the procedure without any difficulties. Let's see the case of the cerebral ganglion block. Please compare the virtual image on the left with the actual image on the right. See? This patient has improved so much after this procedure, so that she was almost stopped taking all the medications she has been taking for years, and she's still doing well. I think this could be the beginning of a big change for the medicine in the future. If there's a doctor who has performed a certain procedure 1,000 times, and there's another doctor who has performed the procedure only 10 times, for example, for this certain person, this guy, come this, for this certain person. Of course, a doctor with 1,000 times of experience will perform the procedure better from unspecified people. However, I think that the doctor with only 10 times experience can perform better on that certain patient. I think the general concept of medicine can change like that. In modern medicine, most of diagnosis and treatments are performed using empirical probabilities for many patients, rather than patient-specific diagnosis and treatment. But with the technologies I'm presenting now, we can create a virtual patient using the patient's medical data. And we might be able to diagnose this virtual patient using customized data of the patient by simulating the treatment. I think it will be possible to know the expected result in advance and proceed with the treatment. If I can be invited again, I would like to tell you more detail about the achievements I have made in relation to the customized diagnosis, prognosis, prediction, and treatment plan. Today, however, I'm running out of time, so I will only talk about the virtual simulators. I did not intend to build the simulator by myself from scratch. However, as you will see, there are many difficulties in making such a simulator unless you are a medical doctor who performs the procedure yourself. Okay, I'm going to use my own hand for the recognition. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Please let me share the screen I'm seeing right now for a moment. Please see the simulator I made using virtual reality. Here, the subtitles are placed above, so you can better see my hands. This is my hands. And this is the procedure room where I usually perform procedures. Perhaps you may feel a little dizzy now, because I'm sharing the view I see at the view of external camera. However, in fact, I do not feel so dizzy because I'm a person who is wearing this mounted display. It's the same principle that people who sit in the back seat get more motion sickness than people who drive the car. I hope that everyone can wear this for a time of experience. In fact, it's also very fun. Here, I made a simulation program for this spinal cord stimulation procedure. The CRM image you are seeing right now over there, it's not a stored image, but it's an instant virtually generated image, an accurate arrangement of patient data here, and calculating the image that will be produced when the virtual CR is taken. Let me adjust the rotation a little bit like this. Maybe. Okay. Just like this. You see? It's a virtually generated image. The image look too small. Since it's a virtual reality, I made it so that I can make it look as big as I want. All I have to do is just turn on the virtual book. Now it's bigger. Though I can also use a controller in this simulator, but I will use my own hands to perform the procedure today. Now I'm going to pick up a toy needle and connect this to this syringe over here, like this. And the back of the syringe is pulled out a little as it will rear. Only those who have experience of the procedure might know this exact feeling by doing this. And now let's look at this. I meant to recognize the shape of user's fingers so I can easily move around here. I can go anywhere easily, see, with my fingers. Okay, like this. Now I should decide the insertion point of the needle, maybe the 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock at helical level might be the fast. I'll put this needle on the 5 o'clock. Maybe right there. And when you do it by your hand, you can take an actual image by pressing the left little finger over here, and on the right is the storage button. Yeah. And you can manually adjust the needle like this, but it will be convenient to use buttons like this for a fine adjustment. If the needle tip is placed on the ligament, you will feel the resistance to the syringe, just like this. And when it touches the bone, the needle can no longer advance. If using control, you can see the vibrations. Oh, yeah. So in that case, I'll have to pull it out a little bit and adjust the angle to get it like this. Much further. When this resistance is low, it must have entered the epidural spikes. We check the actually, oh, I think it's almost there. Yeah, like this. See? Now, it seems that the needle has now been successfully placed in the epidural spikes. In fact, if I go a little deeper here, I will be able to tell you that the cerebrospinal fluid comes out. Let me check the let's check the lateral image too. See, it seems that the needle has been placed perfectly. See it? I think I was able to transfer this feeling to this simulator because I will perform the procedure created by myself. Now, I'll show you inserting the spinal cord stimulation electrode like this. It's an ophthalmic electrode. Usually I insert the electrode with one hand and rotate its tip right here with the other hand to position it. In virtual reality, it's still a little difficult to implement such a fine rotation motion. So, it's here. So, only those parts were handled with buttons to a minimum. Let's see this down there. Yeah. Let me go a little left from here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine. Left side here. Okay. In reality, it's often difficult to easily place it there as I want. It seems a little easier than in reality, but actually it's quite difficult as it is in reality. You can feel like you're performing a real procedure. If you practice with this, it might be helpful in real practice, right? And in reality, it would be difficult to accurately figure out the positional relationship by only using between the electrode and the actual human body structure by only seeing the C-arm image like this. Yeah, it's located. However, because it is virtual reality, you can see the statistics like this, yeah? And you can also identify the positional relationship between the actual human body structure and the instrument, just like this. See, here's the body and the like this. See, don't you think it could be helpful a lot? And by using the DICOM data of the actual patient, it would be possible to try the procedure in advance when a difficult procedure is expected. The cases in Chul just a while ago are cases that were performed using technology of this simulator. You may have been a little dizzy. Let's go to the toilet. I'm going to use the controller now. The video that comes out now is a video about a augmented reality assistant system that I made. It was developed to assist doctors in performing procedures easier and more accurate. Although there are still areas for improvement, we'll be conducting clinical trials soon. With this, you can just see the patient structure, just looking at the patient, and you can just put the instrument right away to the vision you are seeing. Like this. Just so you can wear this glass and you can see the structure over here and just do the procedure. Today's presentation is using the main host that I created 2 years ago. In fact, nowadays I'm conducting a much more advanced form of presentation these days. I like using augmented reality and artificial intelligence. So if I can be invited again next time or in other countries, I would like to present the medical simulation technology that can be said to be the most advanced in the world. I hope today's presentation was interesting, and I hope you get a very good day. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Amazing, yes. I guess we have lots of questions. Yes? Any question here?
Yes. Hello. Do you use it with students right now? Do you use all your I do simulation, but in other fields. So I'm quite familiar with simulations, and I find that very interesting. Do you present that to patients? Do you use it for students in the university, or is it just starting and you haven't promoted that yet?
Thank you for the good question. Actually, I want to use it to the student, but I never haven't used this to medical students yet because it's a little bit more advanced for the American spinal stimulation and the procedures. I haven't used this simulator to teach the residents or fellows for now, but I'm also trying to make some other simulators for the medical students as well. Yeah, it can be attributed to anywhere, anywhere, anytime.
How much is the price of your device?
Because I made it by myself, the currently it is not on the sale now, but I'm going to buy the way.
You have pretty good devices, those in emergency departments or also in anesthesia from the States, but it's not priceless. So it's difficult to have it for students on a basic day, on a basic practice because it's not affordable, actually in Europe, at least. Or you have to do it like yourself, like you did it. It's not on my possibility, so really congratulations because it's very good. And another question, how is the feeling that you have when you do your procedures?
But thanks for the good question. Okay, it's one of the limitations of the virtual reality. You cannot feel something unless you are using the. If you use the controller, you can feel the vibrations only, but actually you cannot feel the contact feeling of the bones or some touching sensations right now. But actually, I'm also planning for it using there are some other equipment like gloves that can bring me the tactiles, and there's some other equipment. I'm not the hardware maker, but there are many advances in the hardware too. So I'm planning for it, and I'm on a project of making it, using the phantoms and the gloves and the wearing devices. It's one of my early goals from now. It's gonna take about only a year, or maybe a year later. I will show something that can bring some tactile sensations and everything just while you're doing the procedure.
Thank you, it was really great.
I have a question regarding the platforms that we can use to educate or learn about a procedure, for example, like talking about metaverse, for example, when you post something and you send your colleagues access to these teaching tools, and then they use it and they have the feeling. What do you think? We're feeling that there's some, you are far advanced than this simple, let's say, 2D metaverse tool for teaching.
I didn't exactly.
I mean, the metaverse platform
yeah.
is something
Sure.
accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Yours is something very high-end simulators and touching.
I'm also making a metaverse platform too. So with the internet connection. So I use the internet connection to share the 10 fingers movement and position. I can share everything in the virtual world like this to the people around the world because it's internet based. I can connect the teacher can be placed in Seoul and the student can be placed in Dubai. We can connect each other in real time with the internet connection and do the simulations and talk conversation. Everything is possible right now. I'm just building on it, and I think it's going to take about several months.
But do you need a teacher for that? It cannot be auto learning system.
Learning system. I should build it. It's more easy. It's easier because I won't have to just make a scenario and make some characters move. Yeah, I'm gonna plan it. I also plan for it too.
Any other questions? It's very innovative.